Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Stella. If you're just coming across my video, you're highly welcome. Kindly subscribe to my channel and like the video. Okay, turn your notification bell because I post new tutorials on this channel, and trust me, you're going to have a good time here. Okay, so in today's video we're going to be making a kaftan. All right, some people also call it a bubu. Okay, and here are the materials that we're going to be working with. So this is going to be another quick and detailed tutorial. Okay, so we're going to be making use of this fabric. All right, this is 6 yards. Okay, and we're going to be making use of this zip. Now the length of this zip is 40 inches. Okay, and we're going to be making use of our scissors and my marking chalk and our tape, of course. So these are the only things that we need for this beautiful kaftan. All right, so let's jump right into the video. Now the first thing that we're going to do is to go ahead and open up the fabric. Okay, so we're going to be measuring two things out. Okay, we'll measure out the front and the back because this style we're going to be having joining on the shoulder. So I'll go ahead and measure out her length. Her full length is 58 inches, and we're going to be adding 2 inches hemming allowance to this, so making it a total of 60 inches. So I'll cut out the first 60 inches for the front, and I'll cut out the second 60 inches for the back. All right, so I'll cut this out and we will proceed. Okay, so here we have it. I am done cutting out. Remember I told us that we're going to be cutting out two, one for the front and one for the back. So here we have it. I have cut them out. So here's the one which we can use for either the front or the back, and here's the second piece. All right, now they are folded into two, so it's folded into two. All right, here's the completely folded side. Okay, now the length is her full length of 58 inches. All right, and I added an additional 1 inch extra. Okay, so the length that we have here is her full length of 58 inches plus 3 inches. All right, and I'll explain the reason for the extra 3 inches as we proceed. All right, so we're going to begin from the back. All right, so I'll keep this aside and let's start from the back. Okay, so here is the fabric. All right, and we're going to begin our marking. Now the very first thing we're going to do is to mark 1 inch at the top. Okay, this is going to be our marginal line. All right, so I'll go ahead and mark this and we'll proceed. All right, and here we have it. Our marginal line is clearly marked. Remember, this is the completely folded side. Okay, and this side is the open side. All right, now another thing you need to do is to go ahead and pin at intervals. So I have my pins, okay, on the fabric. All right, so let's proceed with her measurements. All right, so let's begin with our markings proper. Now the first thing we're going to mark is her neckline. So this is a turtleneck. All right, so the neck width we're going to make use of is 2.5 inches. So I have my 2.5 inches mark here. Okay, and the neck depth, remember this is the back, so the neck depth for the back is 1.5 inches. Okay, so here we have it, 2.5 by 1.5. Now I'll go ahead and connect this. Okay, so here we have it. Now, so the next thing we need to mark is the sleeve length. Now for this style, you will need to place your tape at the nape of your neck and you will measure down to your desired sleeve length. Now for my client, her total sleeve length is 22 inches. So I have my tape placed here, okay? And I'll go ahead and make a mark at 22 inches, okay, here. Now we will need to add ½ inch for hemming, okay? So I'll go ahead and add my ½ inch here, all right? So here we have it. Now let's proceed. Now we'll go ahead and mark all her vertical measurements, all right? So I have my tape placed on the starting point and we'll mark her bust length. Now her bust length is 11 inches, all right? Now her waist length is 17 inches. Okay, and her hip length is 26 inches. I'll repeat these same markings on this other side so that we can get a straight line. So remember her bust length of 11, waist length of 17, and hip length of 26. Okay, now her full length and our full length of 58 inches. All right, so we have a full length of 58 inches plus 2 inches hemming allowance. All right, so I'll go ahead and repeat the same marking here so that we can get a straight line.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll proceed to connect these measurements.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we have it. This is the bust length, waist length, hip length, and the full length. All right, now let's proceed to the round measurement. So we're starting from the bust round. All right, so on the bust length, we'll mark her bust round, and her bust round is 38 inches. So 38 inches divided by 4 will give us 9.5 inches. I have my tape placed on the folded side, all right, and I'll make a mark at 9.5 inches. Okay, here. All right, now we're adding 1 inch east to this, so it's 10.5 inches. Okay, now on the waist length, we'll mark our waist round, and our waist round is 34. 34 inches divided by 4 will give us 8.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and make a mark at 8.5, and we're adding 1 inch east to that. Okay, now on the hip length, our hip round is 45. 45 inches divided by 4 will give us 11.25 inches. All right, 11.25 inches, and we're adding 1 inch ease to that, so that is 12.25. I'll move over to the full length. All right, so on the hem, we'll go ahead and repeat exactly what we have on the hip line. And on the hip line, we marked our hip round of 11.25. Okay, and we added 1 inch ease to that, so it's 12.25. Okay, now I'll go ahead and connect all these. I noticed that my camera did not capture what I did on the hem. All right, so on the hem, I simply repeated the marking that we have here. Remember that on the hip line, we have a total of 12.25 here. Okay, so I went ahead to mark the exact thing on the hem. I went ahead to repeat the 12.25 on the hem. All right, now I'll proceed to connect it. So I'm connecting from the hip to the hem using a straight line. Please note that all my markings for now are still on the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, so this is what I have. I'll go ahead and connect from the waist to the hip.
Yeah.
Okay, and here we have it. We have it connected. All right, and here we have it. We have connected all our round measurements. Now, from the starting point, from our 22.5 inches mark, I'll come down here by 1.5 inches. Okay, because we will need to slope the shoulder. So I'll go ahead and connect the 1.5 inch mark that I have to the neck width.
Yeah.
Right, and here we have it. All right, and here we have it. I have sloped here by 1.5 inches, and this is it. We are actually done. All right, now I'll proceed to add all my allowances. So we need to add ½ inch here for joining of the shoulder. So I'll proceed and add ½ inch here. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we have. I'll proceed to mark the width all the way down. Remember I told us that the width of the kaftan is 22 inches plus ½ inch for hemming. So it's 22.5 inches. All right, now I'll go ahead and mark 22.5 inches all the way down here, and I will cut it off. So I'll mark my. Now the easiest way to do this is to measure what you have left. Okay, so this is our 22.5 inches, and what I have left here is 1 inch. So I'll simply mark 1 inch all the way down here. All right, and I will connect it.
All right, and here we have it. I have marked the 1 inch all the way down to the hem. Okay, I also added my ½ inch on the shoulder slope and on the neckline. So I'll go ahead and cut this. Yeah. All right, and here we have it. The back is ready. Remember, all our markings at this point is still on the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, so I'll go ahead and keep this, then we'll come in with the fabric for the front.
Okay, all right, so here we have it. Now this is the fabric for the front. All right, so just like we did on the back, I'm gonna head to draw my 1 inch margin here. Okay, now the style, it has zip in the front, so on the folded side I'll go ahead and mark 1 inch all through. Okay, so I'll go ahead and mark my 1 inch all the way down. All right, and I'll connect it using a straight line. All right, so here we have it. I have marked the 1 inch zip allowance here. All right, now we'll mark the neck width. Okay, so the neck width is 2.5. All right, neck width of 2.5 by neck depth of 3 inches. All right, so it's 3 inches neck depth by neck width of 2.5. Now I'll go ahead and connect it.
Yeah.
Okay, and here we have it. So this is it. Now I'll come in with the back, and we're going to place the back on the front, and we'll cut out exactly what we have on the back. Here's the back. All right, so I'll go ahead and place the back on the 1 inch zip line. Okay, so I'll go ahead and place it, aligning it with the 1 inch that we came down with here. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do this and we will continue. Here we have it. I have pinned it down. Okay, so I have it pinned down. All right, remember I pinned it away from the 1 inch zip allowance. Okay, now I pinned it all the way down here. All right, so it's fully pinned to the hem. Now we will go ahead and cut. Okay, so we're going to be using the back neckline to cut out first. Okay, so I'll come in with my scissors and we'll cut this out.
Yeah.
Now here we have it. So it is equal here on the shoulder and the neckline. Okay, but remember our neckline for the front, we will still trim it. Okay, now we will need to turn this, okay, to this other side. All right, now, so can you see that here is no longer equal? So you need to trim this so that both the front and the back is equal on the sides. All right, so I'll go ahead and trim it off.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we have it. The edges are all equal. All right, now I'll turn it to the right side. Okay, so it's all equal now. Can you see it's all equal? So I'll go ahead and separate the pins. Okay, so I'll go ahead and take off the pins so that we can cut the back the front neckline. All right, so I've separated the pins. Now this is the back, so we're done with the back, and I'll go ahead and keep it aside. All right, so that we can focus on the front. Now this is the front, so the first thing we will do is to go ahead and trim off our neckline. Okay, so this is our neckline. Now remember it's 3 by 3. Okay, and I went ahead to add my sewing allowance of 1/2 inch, okay, on top of it. So this is what we have as our neckline for the front. Okay, so I'll proceed to cut this off.
Yeah.
Okay, and here we have it. So we're done. Now the next thing that I will do is to go ahead and separate the front, okay, because we're having a zip at the center front. So I'll go ahead and cut the center front into 2. Okay, okay, so here we have it. Now you will need to notch the zip allowance. Okay, so I have it notched. I did the same thing at the hem. All right, and this is it. Now the next thing we will do is to go ahead and cut out the facing for the zip. All right, so for the facing, I want to have to cut out this long piece of fabric. Now it's supposed to measure your total length. Okay, and the width is 5 inches. Okay, so the width is 5 inches. Now, so when we're done fixing the zip, we're going to use this facing to turn the zip. Okay, so we are turning both sides of the zip. All right, so I went ahead to cut out 2 of it, okay, for the both sides. Now the length is supposed to be your complete length. Okay, so you cut out your facing with the length of your front. Okay, so this is what we have now. Let's move over to the joining process. Now I'll come in with the zip, okay, and I'll go ahead and place it starting from our 1/2 inch sewing allowance this way. Okay, I'll place it all the way down. Now I'll go ahead and make a mark where the zip stops. Okay, this way. So here, okay, all right, and I'll be notching it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and notch this place where the zip stops. Okay, So I'll use a loose stitch all the way here, okay? And I'll stop here, all right? So this is the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do. I'll fix the zip.
And here we have it. I have fixed the zip. I also went ahead to use the facing that we had cut out. Remember the facing width of 5 inches, and I used it to turn the zip, okay? So you can see the facing. All right, so I used it to turn the zip. All right, and I gave it a good press. Now I'll turn the fabric to the wrong side. Okay, so this is the inside of the fabric, and you can see the facing. Okay, now I'll go ahead and overlock the rough edges first, and I'll use the hemming gum to iron down the facing, okay, so that it can be flat. Now pay attention to the neckline, because I used the facing entered the neckline, okay, and I extended it all the way to the hem of the gown. Okay, so this is it for the zip line and the facing. Now we'll proceed to join the shoulder. So I'll come in with the back, all right, and we're going to place them right sides facing each other. Okay, now I'll go ahead and place it, okay, and I will join the shoulder using 1/2 inch allowance that we left. Okay, so I'll join the shoulder, then I will hem the sides, okay, before we'll move over to the neckline. All right, remember we left 1/2 inch allowance as our hemming. Okay, so I'll go ahead and join the shoulder, hem the sides, and here we have it. I have joined the shoulder and I gave it a good press. You can see how flat it's laying. I also hem the sides. All right, now let's mark her measurements on the right side. So we're starting with the bust length. Remember, her bust length is 11 inches. Now I'll use a dotted line to indicate the point. Okay, so from the starting point to her waist length is 17 inches. I'll also make a mark there. Now from her starting point, okay, I don't want to say from her shoulder. So from her starting point to her hip length is 26 inches. All right, I'll also indicate that line, that part, using a dotted line. Okay, remember we're marking on the right side of the fabric now. All right, now let's go ahead and mark the round measurements. So we're starting with her bust round. Her bust round is 38. 38 inches divided by 4 give us 9.5 plus 1 inch ease. So I'm marking 10.5 inches on the bust length. All right, now her waist round is 34. 34 inches divided by 4 give us 8.5 plus 1 inch ease is 9.5. So I'll go ahead and mark my 9.5 on her waist length. Now moving over to her hip. Her hip round is 45. 45 inches divided by 4 will give us 11.25 plus 1 inch is making it 12.25. And I'll proceed to connect this. All right, here we have it. Now we need to mark the same measurement on the hemline. So whatever you have on your hip length, okay, and in this case we have 12.25. So I'll go ahead and mark that on the hem. But instead of marking 12.25, I'll round that up to 13. All right. So I just marked 13 inches on the hemline. Okay. And here we have it. So moving on, the next thing we need to do is to connect the measurements. All right. So we're connecting from the hemline to the hip length. Yeah. All right, so we've connected all our measurements. Now this gown will have a slit, okay, and to determine the length of your slit, I simply went to the center of the gown, all right, and I started measuring from where the zip stopped to the hem. Okay, so I placed my tape from where the zip stopped to the hem, and what I have there is 16.5 inches. So from the side, I simply marked the same 16.5 inches. So this is our slit length. All right, so I'll go ahead and start stitching. I'll start from the bust length to the waist down to the hip, and I'll stop at the 16.5 inches mark that we just made. All right, so I'm leaving the rest open as her slit. Now I'll repeat the same thing on the other side of the front. All right, now let's move over to the neckline. All right, so when we drafted the neckline, I went ahead to add 1/2 inch to the neck width and 1/2 inch to the neck depth as the sewing allowance. Now, I discovered that the neckline was going to be tight, so I simply cut that off. All right, so in summary, your neckline is supposed to be 2.5 inches width by 3 inches neck depth for the front and 1.5 inches neck depth for the back without any other sewing allowance added. All right, so this is what I did. because the first one with the allowance gave me a neck round of 16 inches and that was tight. So I took off the allowance. All right, now let's measure the neck round. So I'll go ahead and measure around the neckline, and what I have is 18.5 inches. All right, so I have a detailed video on how to draft a perfect bishop collar. I'll leave the link in the description box. It's super easy and detailed. So I went ahead to cut out her collar. All right, and the width is 3 inches. Now the first thing I did was just to stitch at the top using half inch. Okay, now I marked half inch also at the lower part. Okay, now I'll take this to my pressing table and I'm going to press the half inch using my pressing iron. All right, so I'll just fold it away using my pressing iron. It's a lot easier when you do this with your pressing iron. All right, so here we have it. I have it pressed just like I explained. The half inch, I have it folded inwards. All right, now we'll go ahead to fix this collar. Now to fix your collar, you need to notch the mid part. So fold your collar into two and you notch the mid part. Okay, now I'll go ahead and fix. So we have two methods of attaching your collar. It's either you sew from the outside inwards or from the inwards outside. Okay, now I prefer sewing from the inside towards the outside. Okay, so that I can see my stitches. All right, so I'll go ahead and attach the collar and we'll see the finished look. And here we have it. I love this gown, and this is not me repeating myself. I love this gown. The iron zip at the center front highlighted this bubu. Okay, it gave it that luxury rich look that you will want. Okay, it's not your regular gown, and the finishing inside, the part where we use the facing to turn the zip was just lovely. Okay, and I'd like you guys to give this a try. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Drop your comments, your remarks, and let me know if this is what you would try, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.